Konnichiwa. Welcome to Chocolate with Ed Garcia. The most important part of Chocolate with Ed Garcia is chocolate. Eating chocolate with Ed Garcia. Today, we're going to have Kit Kat. Kit Kat is delicious. Okay, open your chocolate, get your chocolate, open your chocolate. Oh, this is very strong. And bring it near your mouth, bring it near your mouth. Ready, ready, go. That was really good. Let's do it again. Let's have a second simultaneous chew of chocolate. Chocolate tastes better when you share it with a friend. Ready? Bring it near your mouth. Ready? Go, 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 go. Delicious. Okay, let's get started. Today is speech 19, reissue, preamble, and a plurality of pluralities, because one plurality is not enough. This application has a plurality of pluralities. It's difficult to say. A plurality of pluralities, right? Okay, this is a CAFC case, Google versus Koninklijke. Koninklijke. Did I say that right? No. Okay, let's continue. Here are the contents. A history, including the patent, and then a reissue patent, inter partes review, another inter partes review, and one of these was appealed to the CAFC. So this one is a little bit different than the previous case, because in this case, today's speech, we have an appeal from an IPR, from an inter partes review, which is held in the US Patent Office. Continuing, and then we have we're going to talk about this reissue. What is a reissue patent? We are also going to talk about device hierarchy. What is the structure? There's a complex structure, and we hope that we can simplify it and make a simple structure. So, here we go. Here's the history. There's a patent, a reissue, IPR, CAFC. Specifically, a patent issued on April 26, 2005, and then a reissue patent was reissued 2013. The important thing is more than 2 years between the issue of the patent and the petition for reissue application. So, USPTO, Patent and the United States Patent Trial and Appeal Board said the patent is good. However, CAFC Judge Torrento said the patent is bad because it's obvious. Now, I'm not going to talk about the obviousness today. I'm going to talk about some other issues. Continuing. Let's talk about the reissue law. What is the purpose of a reissue application and a reissue patent? And the purpose is to correct a defective patents. Now, within 2 years, if you file a petition for reissue within 2 years of the issuance of the patent, you can correct anything. You can correct anything, including indefiniteness. And you can also remove limitations so that the claim covers more area. Remember, I said less words usually means that the patent covers a greater area. So you can delete limitations and the patent covers more stuff. You can fix anything except you cannot add new matter, okay? However, after 2 years, you are limited. You cannot increase the area of the patent, the scope of the patent, and you cannot fix indefiniteness, okay? The only thing you can do is add limitations to narrow the patent, to decrease the area that the patent covers. Now this may be important if the original patent covers a large area, but there is an invention here, an invention that covers part of this large area. So you want to reduce the area of the patent, reduce the area of the patent claim, reduce what you claim so it does not cover this old conventional thing. That way your patent is still valid. If not, if your area is so large that it covers a previous patent or a previous publication, then the claim is not valid. It's anticipated, right? So after 2 years, the only thing you can do is narrow the patent. Usually you do this by adding limitations. This case is very interesting because some other things happen. Now, let's look at Claim 1. Claim 1 is terrible. This is a preamble that is terrible. Let's look at some of the things. Comprising, comprises. Okay, so we have comprising or comprises 3 times. That's not good. Please only use comprising once to end the preamble and to transition into the body of the claim. Other times, please use including. Okay, other times, please use including. Please use comprising only once. A machine comprising, for example. Additionally, we have a plurality of, we have a plurality of pluralities. This is a first plurality. A plurality of keys is a first plurality, and a plurality of secondary characters is a second plurality. Thus we have a first plurality, we have a second plurality, we have a plurality of pluralities. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Even worse. This plurality, the second plurality, it's difficult to say, even for an American. A second plurality is a subset. It's part of the first plurality. Additionally, we have its. We have it and its. That's bad. That's bad. Don't use it. Don't use its. What is it? Anytime you see the word it, you have to ask, what is it? What does it mean? And it is not clear what it is. Okay, so patent owner applied for a reissue application after 2 years, and look at what they did to the preamble. They made 16 changes to the preamble. Now remember that a reissue application after more than 2 years can only further limit the area, can only add limitations. What is this? Well, patent owner will argue this is clarification. We're just clarifying. Look, here we say comprising, we want to say including. I should comment. Look at this format for deleting using brackets and insertion using italics. This is very, very, very old system that the patent office used many, many years ago and has changed, except in the reissue patents, it continues to use this very old format, which is okay, it's just unusual. Patent owner says, oh, comprising, including mean the same thing. See, I'm not changing anything. I'm just clarifying. And it is true This has the same meaning. Including and comprising have exactly the same meaning. What about the other changes? There are 16 changes. It disappears. Associated with it is deleted. Its respective is deleted. And if you look very closely here, the meaning may have changed regarding in its respective, the associated display area. It's very subtle, but this change does not change anything. These changes down here, I believe you can argue that they change the scope, they change the meaning, and they increase the scope, or they change the scope in a broadening way, and therefore this patent, this reissue patent, is invalid. If I was the defendant, I would have attacked these changes to the preamble as not further limiting Claim 1. This is very dangerous, doing this. Having said that, the person that did this did a very good job. He was very careful, and it's a very close decision whether he changed something here or not. Continuing. Google is suing Clone, whoever that is, the defendant. Google is suing the defendant. So I went to the Google Patents website, which I frequently go to in order to get patents. It's very well designed and very complete, except the Google Patents OCR is wrong. The optical character recognition of the reissue patent says this. It says comprising including. But recall that comprising was deleted by the brackets. Including was inserted. So when Google Patents website optical character recognizes this issued patent, which is published in digital form, right? It's published in image form. Let me rephrase that. It's published as an image. It's printed, and it's also placed in the USPTO website as an image. Okay, the Patent Office is operating in images right now. So this OCR has this word that should not be there. And in fact, all of the deleted words are still in this word version, text version of this reissue patent. So to generate a clean version in final form, in clean format, and deleting the things that were deleted, making them disappear, and inserting the things that were inserted, I have to do it by my hand, by typing. I started with downloading this text from the Google website, and then going here and deleting all of the words that are bracketed. It's inconvenient. The Patent Office is slowly working its way into a character-based system, but right now it's primarily image-based system, which causes these problems. Okay, now let's consider the hierarchy, the structure of Claim 1. And the structure is very complex. In fact, there are 7 levels. There are 7 levels of hierarchy. This is a very complex claim. And this is just a preamble. The preamble has 7 levels. Let's go through them. First level. Okay, all of these words are from the clean claim here. But I have added indentations, added line breaks, and added numbers to show the 7 layers of hierarchy in a preamble. Okay, we have the device. Part of the device is a keypad. The keypad includes a plurality. Remember, we said last speech 18, we said that a plurality is singular. and the plurality is of keys, level 4. The keys include at least one of the keys. Okay, so we went from keys, many keys, and they include a specific one of the keys. Okay, and then that specific key, that first key, let's call it a first key, includes or is associated with a primary character, and it's also associated with a plurality of, remember, again, that's a hierarchical level, it's a plurality of secondary characters. And this key also has an associated display area. Okay, now this a plurality, this first a plurality, includes this second a plurality. This a plurality is a subset of this a plurality. Nonetheless, we have two pluralities. We have a plurality of pluralities. And they are nested. One of them is inside of the other one. Don't do this. Don't do this. We have added 2 levels of hierarchy for no reason. It's confusing. It adds structure that we don't need, we don't want. 7 layers. Plus, this terminology, at least one of the keys. At least one of the keys. Why not a first key? Or something like that. A key, just a key. We have at least 5 extra words here. So we have 5 extra words here, and down here we have to say associated with the at least one key. Why not just a first key or a key? This is very bad in so many ways. Continuing. Now, recall in a previous speech on reference characters, I discussed an easy way to have 6 levels of hierarchy. Well, this preamble has blown through the 6 levels, and it has 7 levels. Remember I talked about using a big hammer? I need a bigger hammer for 7 levels. So let's discuss it. Let's use the hierarchical structure that I proposed regarding the big hammer speech. Here we go, the reference character speech. So a device, we'll call that number 2. A keypad, we'll treat keypad as a assembly, as a big assembly. 3 digits, hundreds. And then the keypad includes a plurality of, so we have to go down 1 level. So now we have a whatever subassembly. And the subassembly includes keys. It doesn't include anything else, it just includes keys. Okay, that's good. And then the keys include at least one of the keys. So now we go to A, we start with the letters, and at least one of the keys has a primary character. So now we're A1, 112, A1. We are 6 levels deep into the hierarchy. And then we have a plurality of, which is at level 6, and then the plurality of has secondary characteristics. Level 7. So now we have to add this one more letter to here. We are 7 levels deep in the hierarchy. If we want to use the reference character structure or organization that I recommended for 6 levels of hierarchy, which is a big hammer, it's not enough. We need one more level. We need one more letter here. Who thinks like this? This preamble has 7 layers of complexity for a relatively simple problem. Continuing. So now, let us simplify this. We can simplify that preamble to just 2 levels. A key associated with certain things. So the key is the first level, and the certain things are the second level. But just for fun, and as a training exercise, I'm going to introduce a third level here. So I'm actually adding a level, and I still only have 3. Let me show you. So we have a method for using a key. Okay? Do we need a plurality of keys for the invention? No. No. We only need 1 key to perform this invention. So why do we have a plurality? Don't need it. Why do we have multiple keys? Don't need it. 1 key. 1 key illustrates or embodies this invention. So, a method for using a key wherein the key is associated with a primary character and secondary characters. Now here's where I'm going to add something just as training, including a left secondary character and a right secondary character. So as I said previously in my previous speech, if there's a plurality, like dogs, it's good to define a first dog and a second dog. In this case, I'm going to define a left secondary character and a right secondary character. Continuing, and a display area. The display area is associated with the key. In the original claim, let me rephrase that. In the reissue claim, the area, this display area, is in the keyboard, right? An associated display area. It's unclear whether this associated display area is refers to the key or refers to the keypad. I think it's supposed to refer to the key, so I put it here, but it's not clear from the preamble. Where were we? We were here. Okay, so look at this simplified preamble. I'm using only two of the levels previously mentioned, specifically the key and the things associated with the key are 1 level down. And just for fun, I'm adding a third level to illustrate things from my previous speech, from speech 18. Okay, let's use the speech 16 reference character conventions. Again, before my simplified case, a method for using a key, wherein the key is associated with a primary character, 100, this would be at the assembly level, a secondary characters, 200, this would be the next assembly area, and the assembly, this assembly, 200, including a left secondary character, 210, and a right secondary character, 220. Notice I'm saying left and right here for the secondary characters in order to avoid saying a first secondary character and a second secondary character, which gets a little bit confusing. So non-numeric identifiers are better if you can use them, as we will see. Continuing, a display area, 300, that's the another assembly, right? 3-digit, 300, 100, 200, 300. These are the assemblies at my second level using the system I previously described. All right, now, and let me step away a little bit. When you use a method claim, I think it's very good process to define the machine that you're using inside of the preamble in this fashion, okay? A method for using what? For using a machine. And the machine, define all of the parts of the machine here in the preamble. And later, when you use them after the comprises, when you use them in the steps, step A, step B, you refer to these parts in the second time, for the second time, so you use the primary character, the secondary characters, the display area. See what I'm saying? So you don't have to read through the all the method steps and try to build the machine as you're trying to figure out what the methods are. The step A includes primary character. Okay. Step B includes something else. Do it here. Do it in the preamble. Define the machine that you're going to use very clearly like this, and then comprises. Then put in your transition phrase that ends the preamble and begins the a list of method steps or acts. So method claims are an exception to what I said about preambles should have 3 words, a machine comprising. For method claims, it should be a method for using a machine, comma, the machine includes, and then you define the machine, comma, and then the method comprises the steps, boom, or the steps of the method comprise, colon, and then the list. All right? Continuing. Now, let's talk about strong lists. A strong list includes, a strong list comprises, notice I'm writing this similar to a claim, a strong list comprises 1, a colon in the beginning, 2, semicolons separating the elements, 3, new lines, see, new line, new line, new line, 4, numbering, and 5, unique modifiers, first and second, or contradictory modifiers, white and black. Let's talk about device hierarchy again a little bit. If possible, avoid first and second, primary and secondary. Let me show you. In this case, instead of a primary character, say a default character, because that's really what it is. Don't say secondary characters, say alternative characters. Okay? So you begin with a default character, and under certain conditions, the alternative characters are presented in the display. Now, the alternative characters, including a first alternative character and a second alternative character. Now in this case, see the alternative characters, I don't really have any way to describe them except first and second. Previously I said left and right, but they're not really left and right. So this is a good place to use the number first, second for the alternative characters. But by calling this alternative characters instead of secondary characters, I avoid confusion. Use descriptive adjectives. Use descriptive modifiers as much as possible. And in this case, default makes it very clear. It's not just a primary character, it's a default character. I guess primary has some similar implications, but default is more clear in this case. It's more accurate. Continuing. So here's another example of a method claim preamble. A method for using a device wherein the device includes a processor, a non-transitory computer-readable storage medium, or memory, and a display and a key associated with the display. So this would be one way to claim 1. I like, for this type of invention, to include a processor and a memory for some subtle legal reasons. And do I need to include the display and the key? Maybe, maybe not. In this case, I include them just to show you one possibility. Continuing. Resources. Chocolate with Ed Garcia on YouTube if you want to see this again or you want to see my other speeches. And this CAFC case, Google versus Koninklijke, is here. The end of Chocolate with Ed Garcia, speech 19, reissue, preamble, and a plurality of pluralities. There's only one thing worse than a plurality, and that is a plurality of pluralities. I can barely even say it. It's difficult to say. This was the best speech ever. The best speech ever. Yes, it was. It was the best speech ever. Why? Because we ate chocolate. Kit Kat. Very delicious. The Okinawa chocolate was better. But Kit Kat is good. And we talked about reissues, preambles, and a plurality of pluralities. Boy, that's difficult to say. A plurality of pluralities. The plural. Because there's a plurality of pluralities. Don't do it. Don't do it. Unless you're being paid by the word. If you get paid more money for more words, then certainly. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do it. Don't do it. And now we talk about Mount Fuji. There's Mount Fuji, Fuji-san. Yoshida at Tokaido. There are many things going on in this wood print. Of course, we have the beautiful Japanese ladies dressed in kimonos, very colorful, red. What is she holding? I don't know. And we have these old people smoking. This one is smoking a pipe. And we have this man with a hammer. I like hammers. I like big hammers. It's hammer time. It's hammer time. What is he hammering? I don't know. It looks like maybe a mouse. Is he hammering a mouse? A cat? Is it a small cat? I don't know what that is. Big hammer. So my friends tell me this is a sandal. It's a shoe. I did not know that. Why do you hammer a sandal? I did not know you have to hammer the straw sandal when you make it. I did not know. And what is this thing? It looks like for carrying. Does someone sit here on this side and maybe someone sits on the other side? Or is it only for carrying items, for carrying things for the picnic to eat somewhere? I don't know. It looks like a chair, but your feet would go this way maybe, so one person sits this way and another person sits the other direction, and this guy is very strong. If two men, one man here, one man on the other side, if only two men are carrying two ladies, they're very strong men. This guy has strong muscles, and he's hitting this with a hammer. Just one story of this picture, many things happening. Here's a blow up. So I guess your toe goes through here and this wraps around your foot. I don't know, but here's his foot. I don't know what's going on here. And this is something written on the top of the painting. I don't know what it says. Here's some writing, more. There's a story here. This painting tells a story, but I don't understand the whole story. I understand this guy. He's carrying some things here, and he broke his shoe, so he's trying to fix it. And these ladies, they don't care. They're just looking at something. What is this? I don't know.
And
Look at these posts here. There's a slot here. And this wood is in this slot, but here's an empty slot, an empty slot. Why? What is this? I don't know. There are many things that I do not know about Japan. But I do know, Nihon ga daisuki desu. Arigatou gozaimasu. Sayonara. Bye-bye.